So, Canon, or Kanan, has uploaded a video about his experience with a recent Ashes of Creation Phase 3 test, and I watched a couple of his videos before, so I'm kind of interested to see what his opinions are about the recent testing phase, because if you don't know, I was a huge Ashes of Creation fan back in the day, and I couldn't wait for this game to be released. I was super hyped up for it to come, and then 7 years went by. And we kind of got nothing. I don't think we got anywhere close towards release. To be honest, the game seemed to be in a development hell for the past 5 years now, maybe even more, honestly. But we just seem to be going nowhere. So I am kind of interested to see what was his experience with the recent testing phase and just kind of understand what the hell is going on with the game, because honestly, I just lost track of it at some point. I used to be such a keen follower, but then I just kind of gave up. So hopefully we have some good news, because I'm not preying on the downfall of this game. On the contrary, I think this game is going to be amazing when it comes out. If it comes out, that's the big question. But I'm kind of skeptical. As time went by, I became even more. So yeah, hopefully we hear some good news. But let's see the things he has to say.
Ashes of Creation just launched its Alpha 2 Phase 3, and I thought it would be a good time to check the game out. You're probably wondering what Alpha 2 Phase 3 consists of, and well, the TLDR is that Phase 3 is when they do a big server wipe and leave the new ones up 24/7 until beta testing begins.
Okay.
That and a bunch of changes, improvements, and new updates like 2 new playable races and a new starting zone to name a couple. Obviously, there's more to it than that. Last time I played Ashes was when they officially lifted their NDA, allowing people to stream their game. That was nearly a year ago, October 2024, I believe.
Yeah.
I was really interested to see just how far.
I mean, straight up, I think UI looks okay. I know most of it is placeholder. There's no need to say that to me. I know most of it is placeholder, and a lot of it will change, but I think it looks actually pretty fine, like here.
Far the game had come
Looks okay.
over the course of nearly a year, and well...
By the way, the reason I sound funny is because I have a little bit of a cold going on, which is a classic. Winter didn't even start it yet, and yeah, I'm already down, son. Fun.
After playing it for a day, here are my thoughts so far. But real quick, a word from today's sponsor, ExitLag.
Bruh. Oh,
overall, I definitely did see some improvement with the game. I'd say maybe about 10 to 15% improvement, 20% if I'm being very generous.
Brother, you have to squeeze the percentages out just to make it sound good. I mean, 10 to 15% change. Jesus, man. Okay.
The big area of improvement definitely lies with the overall performance and player models
Nice
not
front
being
flips.
a janky mess. Performance-wise, feels pretty good. There is a subtle little choppiness going on, though. I don't know if you guys can see it.
Yeah.
It's weird because outside of that little subtle choppiness thing that I'm getting, it does feel smooth. I do not feel like I have...
I think this might be server-side issue. I'm not really that confident about that, so yeah, I mean, don't take my word for it, but it just seems like a server-side issue that can be easily fixed. I might be wrong about that, though.
A loss of frames, which is kind of impressive considering how many people are here. This time around, I don't really remember noticing any player models behaving that weirdly, and that's a really good thing. Aside from that beginner zone, I didn't really get any more choppiness anywhere else.
I know, this area, just like a side note, this area looks kind of cool, but the minimap looks, I don't know, it's like missing pixels, but again, everything is kind of placeholder right now, so can't really judge, but yeah, we've been saying that for years about this game at this point.
More importantly, in the previous alpha, a big part of what made the game feel so broken and incomplete for me came from the player models being a buggy mess. This time around, the models were way more consistent and natural. The game has definitely improved significantly
so it is a big improvement
regard as far as I could see. Another notable pro is the combat. I enjoyed the combat the first time around, and this time it felt even better.
You know what? I never played Ashes of Creation myself, so if anyone in the comments have played it, make sure to let me know how the classes actually feels like, because I have watched the combat, I have watched the preview for every single class available on Ashes. None of them seemed that interesting to me or, you know, actually good. So if you had your hands on this game, make sure to let me know if you enjoyed playing the classes, because when I looked at them, I didn't like what I saw. I gotta be honest.
Maybe it was just the new rogue class I played that was designed better, but the abilities felt really good to use. -1 ability.
Combat looks hella choppy. hella choppy. And I know this is, I'm pretty sure that this is like action, like tap target action, but I might be wrong about that too. But God bless, it looks so choppy, which I understand, but at this point, it's been so long this game has been in development. How the combat is this choppy?
Called Feint, which is a shadow step skill. That one was a bit buggy to use.
Oh,
What?
wow.
Like right there. Come on. That needs to... Okay.
Brother.
Other than that, though, the combat definitely carried it for me. While I was glad to see the improvements, I was honestly disappointed with the lack of improvement in...
The zones look great. I do have to say that. The zones looks fantastic. That looks incredible. Look at the water quality. Jesus, man, this is good. This is some good stuff. I like that.
some other areas of the game. The biggest criticism I had with the game was the questing and mob AI. I'll start with the questing, considering this
Quest?
is something I really feel would
They're
be
available?
super easy to clean up. I'm just surprised that after a year it's still poor. The questing isn't consistent enough. It's pretty clear that Intrepid is going for a more challenging, bit ambiguous, less hand-holding type of questing experience. That's totally fine, by the way.
That is good.
But it just feels
me, at least.
inconsistently or ineptly done right now. Here's an example. The quest markers. Sometimes they're visible, sometimes they're not. Some NPCs have quest icons,
What?
some NPCs don't. I would understand it if these quests were part of an MSQ, but that doesn't seem to be the case because some of them seem to be side quests
Okay, so it's just inconsistent. That's the problem. I get that. Well, I'm pretty sure this one of those things that will get refined later on.
that you don't have to do. I'm guessing the orange quests are early guide quests, but the fact that I'm still not sure is the problem. This quest, for example, tells me to turn in at the Apprentice Apothecary, but really, I have to go to this NPC named Assistant Edeldorn. Notice,
What?
by the way, the shimmer on this NPC's name with the orange quest icon showing that it's a turn-in.
We've had a lot of
Bro,
travelers
this
through
guy's
here.
name wasn't even, it was not even the same name. Assistant Edeldorn.
They gave it to the guy with the wrong name. Oh my, dude, what? I mean, that's not a consistency problem. That's a developing problem at this point. This is weird. Okay, it's like they gave up in the middle of the quest. What is that, dude?
The quest
is
was
that?
telling me to go talk to an apothecary.
That's
assistant
frustrating.
Apothecary. Didn't show me where he was, and the NPC's name wasn't even Apprentice Apothecary. It was literally a different name. You notice the same thing with this quest from Goobert Pebble Pocket. Phenomenal name, by the way.
Nice name, yeah.
When
Indeed.
accepting his quest. Only when you turn in for him, no turn-in indicator, no icon. There he is. Man,
Wow.
I know they're going for more of like a you have to pay attention type of approach, but I don't know, man. I think they should still have quest indicators when you're ready to turn in a...
Yeah, 100%. I mean, not putting quest indicators just for the sake of, like, I don't know, vibes and stuff, that's bad. That's bad. And by the way, I'm like a complete immersion Andy. I love immersion. And, I think that giving up some gameplay elements for the sake of immersion is good, but the opposite is also true. You do have to give up some immersion elements for gameplay's sake. I mean, right? I mean, bosses... Jeff Kaplan said it best, like, dragons don't stash loot under their wings, back in the day. If you know which, interview I'm referring to, it's true. It's just true. Sometimes you have to sacrifice immersion for the sake of gameplay, and I think that this is one of those times. Because quest indicators are important because they save a lot of time. Will people play blindly and just go for quest marker after quest marker and chase them down? Sure. Why does it matter? You can play your own way. Personally, I wouldn't do that. I would read a quest because I'm a lore Andy. But if someone want to chase quest markers, let them do that. You don't have to force everybody to play a certain way that you want to play. Just give them the option to do otherwise. That's the best solution.
quest. The quests need to be consistent. If you're gonna have quest icons, clean it up and make them understandable. Make them consistent. These inconsistencies are just not good for the new player, especially when the...
What is that? Commission board? Oh, you can take bounties? Okay, that's dope. That's dope. So instead of quests, you're like, some quests you just take bounties?
questing revolves around a more challenging, you gotta figure it out kind of concept. I assure you, almost every new player that enters the game will rely on doing quests to get started. And if that experience
I want to see that mount again. Give me 1 second.
gotta
GD.
figure it out kind of concept. I assure
Definitely
you,
RAM.
almost every new player that enters the game
Oh, I thought it may have damaged him. No, dude. Only Guild Wars has done mounts the best way possible. I love Guild Wars 2 so much, man. I've spent so many hours on this game. I never got to do the entire content, which I'm kind of sad about, but wow, this game did mounts like no other MMO did. It was fantastic, man. Nobody's ever done that.
will rely on doing quests to get
Until Blizzard has copied their flying mounts, by the way, but yeah, no one has done that.
started. And if that experience is frustrating, you're going to lose people. You're going to lose a lot of people. It's important. And believe
already
me,
have.
I'm not the only one that thinks the quests in Ashes are scuffed. I think
Again, but this is the problem with Ash's development team. They always say, no, this is just the early phase. This is just the early phase. Quests aren't necessary right now. They will be necessary later. They'll be important later on. But later on never arrives. You're just stuck in a perpetual pre-alpha testing phase, and it's just development hell cycle over and over again. That's the problem. They always put you on the back burner, and I don't like that. No, quests should be important and they should be installed right now. You are behind in so many stuff. I mean, World of Warcraft development took way less years than that, with way less budget, by the way, even if you count for inflation. And the game wasn't perfect by any means. Like, Classic WoW wasn't perfect, for sure. They had a lot of content missing, they have a lot of bugs, glitches, all that sort of weird stuff that got fixed with time, right? And, I mean, that's what need to happen with Ashes. They need to release the game in a playable state and kind of go with emotion, listen to what the people are saying, and of course develop the game with your community. What they're doing right now is just infinite development cycle hell that pretty much lead us nowhere. People just pay copious amount of money to get into the game and actually test the game. They're not really testing it, they're just kind of playing them because Steven don't really listen to anyone, just kind of do whatever he wants to do because it's his game and it's his money, which I respect. I mean, it is what it is. He is paying for it. But yeah, I mean, he's funding it. But you know, you still need to listen to your community to make sure that the game is at its best, right? And I don't feel like they're doing that. I feel like they're doing whatever they want to do, and they do it in their own pace, which is, you know, really slow.
you can make an argument that something like this isn't super high on the prio list, even though I feel like it would be
Exactly
such
what
an
I said.
easy fix for them to do and should be.
Oh, exactly what I haven't pre-watched this. I swear to God. This is literally what I just said. But I sound like an idiot because my English isn't that great. So that's what I meant. Whatever
My
he said.
next point of criticism is for sure something that I would think should be high on the prio list. The mob AI. When I first played Ashes last year,
Even the AI
it
is
was
bad?
really clear that the mobs were just janky. They were buggy, desyncy, inconsistent. They were not good. They're still not good. In fact, I don't think they're better at all. Maybe it was the new zone that I was in, but the mobs are still behaving the same way. Some mobs that should aggro seem to not aggro immediately. Some mobs have infinite leash range, while some leash at a
What?
reasonable distance. Look how
Oh
far
my
this
God.
mob chased me. I'm literally in the town right now.
He's in the city, dude.
Finally leashed.
That's crazy. No way that's difficult to fix. No way leash range is that difficult to fix. Dude, what the hell is going on? What the hell is going on with the game right now?
What is this aggro range? Some mobs are also
This-
stuck in invincible. Some are stuck in
Really?
attackable. Some are inside mountains and start hitting you from there.
Okay, to be fair, that is also the case with Classic WoW. I gotta be honest, like, I have seen this happen numerous times in Classic WoW, so I'm not gonna give him too much flack for it, but still, you know, fix your game, fix your game.
Right? Look. Motherfucker's just stuck in there. Right?
Classic.
How do I even
Literally.
attack? Can I attack him? I can.
You cannot.
Look at that. He goes here and then gets teleported. And now I can't attack him anymore, even though I could attack him. Now he's back here. Can I kill him? Okay. Surely they'll be able to fix shit like that soon, right? Sometimes they desync and teleport. I cannot tell sometimes if the mob is moving
You want to
because
climb
it's
the trees.
executing
He's a
a
bear.
move from its skill set, or if
Look at
it's
him go.
just desyncing and bugging out. And that's bad. It's
Yep.
objectively bad.
That's not good.
Ashes is designed around facing challenging mobs and facing real penalty when dying. This shit can't happen when you have this type of game. The mobs can't be in this
100%.
buggy, messy state.
100%. He said the truest thing ever. When you design a game when you design a game that death is super punishing in it, you can't afford to have stuff like this happening, because this isn't some casual play, right? When you can die and you can just run back and that's it. No, you actually lose something when you die in Ashes of Creation. So whenever you die to a bug or a glitch or whatever, this sucks. Like, it sucks 10 times harder than what it would normally. So you should definitely fix this. This is super important. This is not like a side note that you should point to later on. This is literally need to be fixed right now. This is important.
When I saw this jank, originally I was okay with it because
Raven.
it was an alpha. Sure, this is still
Again.
an alpha, but this is almost a full year later.
Thank you everyone. Constantly the Ashes of Creation defenders will die on this hill that it's just alpha, bro. It's just alpha. It's always alpha. It's not even alpha, it's pre-alpha. It's even worse. I mean, dude, the fact that you keep adding numbers to the alpha state doesn't make it better. It just makes it last longer. It's super janky. It's weird, and honestly, it's quite cringe. So let's just stop doing that. Let's tear down the mask and just say it how it is. This game sucks right now, and it shouldn't. It's been in development for way too long, and come on, like, please, for the love of God, fix this, because everyone wants to play this game. There are a lot of good things about Ashes of Creation, but please, please, just fix the game and ship it. Thank you.
The fact that it doesn't feel any better is a huge disappointment for me. With that said, the dynamic gridding was introduced for the first time with this build.
Oh,
Not going to get into details of what this is. Feel free to look it up yourself.
It is
but I
pretty
did
good.
hear that this could be a big part of the reason why the mob AI is as scuffed as it is. Regardless of what's causing the issues, I'm hoping they can fix it up ready in time.
It is basically, I mean, short version if I remember correctly, because I have watched the preview of that on the official channel. It's basically a way for them to make sure the game feels massively, you know, like an MMO, like massively multiplayer online, you know, that's the point of it, but without crashing the servers. So this is actually pretty good, and hopefully the system will function and we can feel like we're playing with a ton of people without crashing servers and, you know, causing our PC to burst into flames.
Time for the launch so my grandkids can enjoy the game in 2093. Jokes
Yes,
aside,
brother.
I really
You know
am
it.
pulling for the Intrepid team, hoping they can deliver us a good product, hopefully
course.
within the next few years. This really is the closest thing to vanilla Arcade that's on the horizon, and seeing as Arcade is my
Yeah, on the horizon, if the horizon was on Mars.
favorite MMO of all time, I'm really looking forward to what Ashes could possibly
Oh, that's the map? Okay, that looks good. That looks good. I like that. I like that map.
become. There are obviously other areas where the game has improved and needs to be improved, but I would say these are the two that stood out to me the most. If I were to add another point of criticism or feedback, it would be that I feel Intrepid should revisit the difficulty and ambiguity of the early game experience, assuming it's currently intentional. I feel you can still nail the we want less hand-holding, more player freedom, bigger challenges type
That
of
is good.
concept, while still delivering a certain level of ease and guidance for a new player. For example, there's no
Yes.
reason for the world map to lack so much information. Additional labels and names would really go a long way. In abundance,
Well, but classic WoW didn't really have any of that, and the game did just fine. So I can't really blame them on that. Personally, I like it when people don't hold my hand. I like to discover things for myself, but I do recognize the fact that people sometimes are just new to MMOs, and you need a constant influx of new players to actually revitalize a game, or just, you know, keep it alive, because you don't want a game dying on you, because player bases do die and change constantly, and you need to make sure there's always an intake of new players coming in, so, you know, the game could prosper. And yeah, hopefully the new player experience will not be hand-holding, but it wouldn't be too tough. You don't want to be too tough on people. You just kind of want to bring them to the world, introduce them in a way that is meaningful, and will make sure that they continue to play the game and want to learn for themselves without holding their hand too much. This is a difficult balance to strike, but I think that if you look at classic WoW, you can do it slightly easier, and then the balance would pretty much be perfect, in my opinion at least.
Of entry-level resources for players to craft their first beginner set with some additional guidance on how also isn't going to kill this game. The pacing doesn't have to be sped up, but some of the early game progression just feels even slower because of how tedious it is.
Actually, fast pacing is more damaging for new players than slower one. When you do a slow pace, people can actually focus on the game when you go at slower pace, instead of just rapidly throw abilities at them and confuse them. You really want to do this slowly and then kind of get them into the game and get them more invested. That's usually how it works, for the best at least.
You want to craft a weapon? As of now, you'll spend a lot of time searching for resources to mine. Then when you finally get it, you have to trek across the map just to go to a workbench for one of the mats that need refining, then
that's
back
a problem.
to craft the weapon.
That's a problem. When you spend most of your time walking, this is not an experience. It's just kind of annoying. Now, I'm not saying you should have short walks and teleports for everything, because this is exactly what killed retail WoW for me. The fact that you just teleport from place to place like it's nothing. You do need to have a time where you know, downtime where you walk, you get to kind of enjoy the environment, all that kind of stuff, but you don't need to make that tedious. Just really, really good.
All with limited inventory space.
Again, striking
and storage,
that balance,
by the way, and that's after you figure out the crafting and gathering system, which is going to take time itself, especially for new players that aren't used to these types of sandbox.
Yeah, I'm not sure I'm a huge fan of how the bags work in Ashes. They work just like they would in like an ARPG, where you have slots and slot size, and then depending on the size on what you're carrying, that's the amount of slots being taken. I'm not sure I'm a huge fan of that. I'm not gonna lie, Chief. I'm not sure I'm a huge fan of that.
Systems. Challenges are great.
I hate inventory management. I literally hate this in every game. I mean, I get them in survival games and ARPGs, but come on, even MMO, dude, I'm not a fan. I gotta be honest.
Right now, a lot of this isn't streamlined very well and just feels very tedious for a lot of people. Now, I'm sure these things aren't the main focal point of the current test phase, but I'm giving the feedback anyway because as a tester,
it's good.
These are the things that impacted my experience the most.
Exactly.
So let's sum this baby up. Overall, is the game ready for launch? No shot. Has it improved? For sure. Did it improve a ton?
No.
Not really, if I'm being honest, but I'm also not a game dev. Do you think it still has potential? I sure do. But that's just my subjective opinion.
You don't have to be a game dev to understand that this game has been stuck in development hell for the past 5 years. You don't need to be a game developer with like 10 years of experience to actually understand that. You can just look at other games and look at this game and compare between the two and understand for yourself and just like deduce for yourself that, hey, this game has been stuck indeed in development hell. Because again, like I said, with Blizzard, they've done way more with way less. And this is kind of weird. Like, what are we doing here? The game should have been out by now if any other responsible team has been doing this, if I'm being honest. But for some reason, maybe it's because they're so ambitious, this game just stuck. But you know, maybe they're flying too close to the sun. Maybe this game will never see the light of day. Maybe we'll get another Star Citizen on our hands. But I don't want to be pessimistic when it comes to this, because I genuinely want a new MMO to actually take the crown from World of Warcraft, because unfortunately, it's just super difficult to admit, but World of Warcraft is still the best MMO out there. And I'm not referring to retail, because retail sucks. I'm just talking about Classic. I think Classic is still king. That's why I play it. That's why I enjoy it so much, and I spend so many days of my life playing it. And I mean, yeah, I can't wait for a new MMO to finally take the crown, because we all want something new, something fresh, something that is not solved. And Ashes of Creation seems to be the one most close to it. I know there are some MMOs that are in development, like Riot's MMO, which God knows how that's going to turn to be. But if it will be good, I will of course play it, because I'm deeply invested in the Runeterra lore. You know, some of you may know I'm a huge Runeterra player. Rest in peace, by the way. But yeah, I mean, he's right about everything that he said. This seemed to be the end of the video, so I'm gonna just stop it here. Really great. Honestly, I think his feedback was genuine and you know, he was critical, but he wasn't like trash talking. So overall, awesome video. I'll leave a link in the description in case you guys want to watch it for yourself, and give him a like, please, because this was indeed a great video by Kanan. And yeah, that's pretty much all for now. So once again, make sure to let me know in the comments what you guys think. Sorry about sounding like an absolute rambling buffoon, because I do have a cold and I'm an idiot. But yeah, that's pretty much all for now. So once again, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.